Hi guys, in today's video we're going to talk about sanctioned or shadowed, navigating GenAI access in enterprise. What I'm going to cover today is adding GenAI tools into sanctioned apps, watching unsanctioned apps, and some options for handling unsanctioned apps or shadow GenAI. Let's get started. So first and foremost, let's go out to the CMA here. And then we're going to actually go to the account menu. And let's just type in sanctioned. And that's going to be under categories. And then in categories, we can go to sanctioned apps categories. And here you can click sanctioned apps. And then I can add the application that I want here. So if Gemini or ChatGPT, I can add those in here. That's going to then add to my sanctioned app category, hit apply, hit save, and now those are considered sanctioned. I'm going to show you what that looks like here in security, GenAI apps. These will now show up ChatGPT is sanctioned. These other ones are unsanctioned. So that shows up in reports and then allows you to filter by those and also build firewall rules, which we're going to do next. So we're going to go to security, internet firewalls. We're going to build two rules. One that allows sanctioned GenAI access above the rule that either prompts, blocks, or has a captive portal. I'm going to show you the captive portal one. So they allow sanctioned GenAI tools. What does that look like? So name it, put it at the top if you're going to test it, but make sure it's always above the one that's going to be restrictive. So in this case, the source is going to be any, application category is going to be sanctioned apps. We're going to go actions, and we're going to go allow and do an event here. So we're saying any sanctioned GenAI apps you can use. The firewall is going to let you through. So hit save on that one. And now we're going to do prompt or captive portal for all non-sanctioned apps. So we're going to go app category, generative AI tool. So any generative AI tool, what's the action? I chose captive portal here. You can choose block, prompt, or use RBI. It's up to you in your environment. What does your policy dictate? In my case, I want to have a captive portal and put terms of agreements in front of the user to say, hey, you're using an unsanctioned tool. We're still evaluating what tools we're going to use, but know that this is going to be monitored and you can't send proprietary data. You can do an event. You can send a notification, hit save on that, hit publish when that comes up here, and that'll publish. You're going to have to wait about 2 to 5 minutes for the firewall rule to be published. Then we can test that. Before we go test it, let me show you what it looks like to actually set up the captive portal here. So if you go to account, captive portal, I can then add my terms of agreement here. And I can say, all right, here's my terms of agreement for accessing GenAI apps, unsanctioned. Here's my logo. So this is what your user is going to see. So if you want to set that up and you want to use captive portal like I'm showing, you can. You could just do a prompt. You could do a block. It's up to you depending on the policy of your environment. But let's go out and actually look at the VM here. So, all right, so if I go out to ChatGPT here, let's see what that looks like. All right, that works. Let's go out and talk to Claude.ai. Boom, there's my captive portal. So the firewall said, hey, you're an unsanctioned app. Here's your captive portal. We could have selected action block, or we could have selected action prompt. In this case, we're saying unsanctioned GenAI app. I can type in my email address here and say, all right, I've read the terms of agreement, allow unsanctioned GenAI app. So then it's going to go out there, and then next time I go out to Claude.ai, I can now connect to Claude.ai. Great. Let's see what that looks like in the CMA. So we're going to go out to security. Yeah, go ahead and leave and discard without change. That's fine. I'm going to go to GenAI apps. Let's go to the last hour, just so we can just get what we were working on. So we have a bunch of allows. We haven't blocked anything, but you can see sanctioned and unsanctioned apps. And then here's my Claude API, AI, which is Anthropic. So I can hit boom, add to filter. Hit the little 3 lines, and now I can see the details here associated with those transactions. And if I want to, I could actually go into the view event. So who's accessing this unsanctioned app? So I can see the Cato Labs username. I can see all the details of accessing that unsanctioned app. So you can see the back and forth and see the details if you want to by each of those. Another trick I'll show you is I'm going to clear all these, and you can save this as a query in your environment. I just kind of want to show you a little bit how it's done. So I'm going to clear all these out, and then I can go to action here. And then I'm going to say, show me the ones where captive portal was present. So then you can save this query if you want, so that way you can just go straight to it. But you can say, here's the captive portal. So the action was captive portal. Here's Claude.ai. And so if you want to see who's accessing the captive portal, there you go. There you have it. So now you can actually have the details of who's actually accessing that captive portal. And then there's the email and associated with that captive portal where the terms of agreement. All right, guys. So in summary today, we actually built out a firewall rule under security for allowing sanctioned and unsanctioned apps. After adding our sanctioned app to ChatGPT in there, then we went to Internet Firewall. We built an app for allowing, built a firewall for allowing sanctioned apps to go through the firewall. And then we built a rule for bringing up the captive portal, but it could be a block or a prompt for any of our unsanctioned apps. So all generative AI tools. And then we showed a little bit about how to build the captive portal, and then we tested that. All right, guys, thanks so much. I hope this is helpful.